Good luck to all four nations in these crucial games here at the Powerchair World Cup in Sydney.
That's a crazy of the graphics that I've got, so very cool.
The Giants are making plenty of noise. Can we hear from the English?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 2023 FIPFA Powerchair Football World Cup here in Sydney, Australia, or the Quaycentre to be specific, where you join us for this European clash between Denmark and England. Once again, delighted to be joined on commentary for the second time. Mr. Greg Baxter, how are you?
I am absolutely loving life here, mate, because the football has been exemplary, dramatic, everything we've really hoped and wished for, and I foresee this being no different.
I really hope that the quality of football, the passion in the crowds, and the overall atmosphere surrounding this World Cup is projected sufficiently across the streams, because as Greg just said, it has been absolutely incredible. We just watched one of the standout games of the tournament between Uruguay and Japan. It's a reoccurring theme for Uruguay. But for this one, here on Court B, Denmark take on England. A faultless start for both sides. A 2-0 win over the Republic of Ireland kick-started Denmark's World Cup campaign before a 1-0 victory over their close border rivals, Northern Ireland, earlier today. England had a sticky start to the competition, a close 2-1 win over a very impressive Argentina side. Back to the trademark English way earlier today. 4-0 against the Republic of Ireland. Let's get them squads up, starting with Denmark, followed by England.
Just waiting for the Danish team to load, and there it is. So, in goal, number 17 for Denmark, Albin Vognersen. Number 10, captain Kasper Volker Petersen. Out wide, number 11, Thorbjørn Agvist Krarup. Number 7, Mark Corner Up Sorensen. On the bench, they have number 1, Michael Jensen. Number 21, Tobias Clausen. And their head coach, Henrik Rasmussen.
Thank you, Greg. Now their challengers lining up as follows. They're going to start with Chris Gordon in between the sticks. Once again, switching it slightly from their earlier game. Stay with John Boulding in the centre. But they have Ed Common starting for the first time this competition. The familiar Marcus Harrison on the alternate wing. Substitutes, Dave Lewis, Dan McClellan, Tyler Reeve, Brad Bates, their head coach, Colin Gordon, assisted by Adam Crow. So England, we adorning that familiar white jersey, their goalkeeper designated in the yellow kit. Denmark in red, their goalkeeper wearing orange. The match officials for this one in the centre, hailing from Australia, we're going to have David Veeb, assistant referee number 1 from France, Nico Ballin. Assistant referee number 2, Ellie Smithers from Australia. 4th official for this one, Junichi Saito from Japan.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this match is anything like the pre-game battle in the stands between the two sets of fans, we're in for an absolute treat.
So
sorry, Ryan.
No, I was just going to say, scheduled for a 4:30 kickoff. If you're watching from England, I think that's 5:30 for anyone watching across Denmark.
Every nation has had very passionate fans, but only one has managed to draw in as many Australians as they have their own nation, like Denmark. They have had the most vocal support, and it has been brilliant to see.
So, as part of all of our fixtures here at the World Cup, we are running a predictor app. If I was to ask you, Greg, your prediction for this before I draw up that graphic, what are you predicting for this game ahead?
I think it'll be a close game. Denmark will try and frustrate England, but I think I see the Three Lions coming out with... Well, I said 3-0 in the last game and I was close, so I'm going to stick with my 3-0.
Well, if we bring the predictor in, the public seems to agree completely. 92% of people voting have gone for an England win, 7% a draw, and then how the percentages work. No one has voted for Denmark. The score for that one, 3-0 predicted, so very much aligning with yours, Mr. Baxter.
It's almost like anyone would think I kind of know what I'm talking about.
So the squad's just getting their final instructions before proceedings are underway.
Tension building around the Quaycentre. Kick-off. Minutes away.
So commentary brought to you from myself, Ryan Sipple, and my good friend Greg Baxter. We're going to get underway. David Weeb, the Australian official in the centre, places the beautiful World Cup ball in the centre circle. So both of these teams have had a faultless start, 6 points from their opening 2 games. Can they continue that impressive record here today?
One thing is for certain, one team's perfect record, or both will be going in this game.
Absolutely it will. So David Weeb just waits for the official on court A. They've been very good at keeping time here at the Quaycentre. Argentina take on France. That can be found across the FIPFA YouTube and Facebook channels. But you're joining myself and Greg for Denmark and England for this 2:30 kickoff, Australian Eastern Daylight Time.
One thing that has been a feature of Denmark's game has been their physicality. They have had 3 yellow cards in their opening 2 games, and already you see there Sorensen just beating 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐿 to the ball there.
Yeah, the officials across this tournament haven't been shy in awarding yellow and red cards. We've seen a number of them awarded. Denmark typically a very aggressive side as Boldin advances past the Denmark number 10, Kroop. Over to 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐿, into Boldin in the centre. Pick off in the direction of Marcus Harrison. Onto the edge, rotated spin kick. 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐿 with an attempt. Brilliantly cleared by Jesper Volker Petersen. Currently the most defensive player within that Denmark setup. 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐿 just taking his time, has Chris Gordon down the line. He goes centrally to Boldin, gets the contact. Marcus Harrison guides it goal bound. Cleared brilliantly by the defence of Denmark.
Could have maybe gone at the near post there a bit more.
Boldin has the option of Marcus Harrison down the line. A very soft touch down to his number 9 winger. Across the box this time. Gordon driving forward, trying to receive that ball. We saw him create an absolutely brilliant assist in their earlier win against Ireland. He's so instrumental in defensive and attacking phases of play. Harrison to Gordon, back to Harrison, back to Gordon, not the accuracy Gordon would have wanted. It rolled out of play as deemed by our referee on the side, Nico Ballin.
England trying to stamp their authority on this game early on though.
Harrison, back to Kroop, met by John Boldin, over to the left-hand side, just wide of that left-hand post. Unfortunate.
If England needed any warning sign to say Denmark are not to be taken lightly, that was it.
Gordon into Boldin, just guided towards 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐿, but cleared well by Mark Sorensen. Volker Petersen waiting on the edge of the box. 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐿 did brilliantly well just to present that obstacle. Not before the referee deemed that too forceful from the Denmark number 7, Mark Sorensen.
He's already had 1 yellow card so far in this tournament. You might have to be my eyes for a lot of this game because there are many people standing around me.
Chris Gordon readies himself to take the goal kick into the side of John Boldin. He guides effortlessly past Kroop, the Denmark number 11. Not that time though. Trying to make the attack happen for Denmark. He's going to try and squeeze it and dribble it around the right-hand side of Chris Gordon. It remains in play off the front of Boldin's chair.
Boldin. Free kick given by the referee. Have to forgive myself and Ryan.
Chris Gordon into John Boldin. Marcus Harrison just controls it, met quickly by Kroop. Out of play for an England ball. Gordon to Harrison, across the box brilliantly, but a crucial interception from Albin Vongson. Common pick off, gives possession back to Kroop, rotated spin kick, no doubt in the intended path of Mark Sorensen. Boldin trying to guide his chair past the oncoming Sorensen. Harrison caught in 2 minds there. I think he may have wanted to switch it to 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐿, but Boldin also presented a good option, who has possession now. He's just waving 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐀 away to allow him the space. He didn't vacate quick enough. 2-on-1 as awarded by David Weeb, our central referee.
Bit of a stop-start beginning to this game. A couple of free kicks just stunting any side, getting any momentum.
𝐏𝐨𝐵 𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐀 takes the set piece, passes it to 𝐾𝐲. Out eventually for an England kick-in. 5.5 or so minutes played. It remains Denmark 0, England 0. Brilliant pass from Boldin, just to thread through the two Danish players, condensing the defence. 2-on-1 awarded in favour of England. Be taken by Boldin. Down the line, centrally, just locked up on the front of 𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐀's set ball will resume play, despite its quick return to the floor of the Quaycentre.
Brilliant touch by Ed with his leg there. Oh, there is nothing that man can't do.
So Mark Sorensen will contest this set ball with John Boldin. Marcus Harrison presenting a really nice option on the left if the England captain can find him. Now has to vacate that space, surely. So close to a 2-on-1 infringement. Good work from the England attack to maintain that 3-metre distance. And they come away with the corner kick.
They're going to go with a rehearsed corner here. I've seen it a few times myself when we've been giving the senior squad some warm-up games ahead of this tournament.
Harrison across the box to Gordon. Attempts an effort, cleared well by Albin Vongson. Another attempt here. Boldin, the most presentable option, just backs off slightly. Gordon rooted to this line. He goes to Boldin. Sorensen does well to restrict that pass to 𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐀. And now he's going to try and mount an attack for the Danish. He has two players in support, but it goes back to 𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐀. Diagonal attempt. Play kept in. Contact between the chairs of Volker Petersen and John Boldin. The referee deems that to go in the favour of England, and a contact foul is the result. Direct free kick will shortly be taken by England.
That wasn't just contact, that was heavy contact. Ball was there to be played for both sides. John Boldin just got there ahead of Petersen. And that is why it will be an England free kick, which Chris Gordon will take.
John Boldin, a really nice option. Dead centre to Gordon. Marcus Harrison in space on the left as well. Goes straight down to Volker Petersen. Couldn't clear it as far as Boldin. So England have possession, out of play for a Denmark ball.
Just wonder if 𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐿 could have left that ball to roll out there. It'd taken a touch off the Danish defender and they would have had a kicking in a nice position. As it is, Denmark now have the ball and a chance to clear their lines and get some territory.
So the captain, 𝐏𝐨𝐵 𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐀, down the line to 𝐾𝐲. Common now, occupied a central position, just backs off. Boldin now. 𝐾𝐲 does well to keep it in, locked between himself and John Boldin. Sorensen, Gordon, Boldin, slightly too square that pass. Would have liked to thread it between Mark Sorensen and the defence. Over to 𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐿. So possession gifted back to Denmark. Another kick in to be taken by 𝐏𝐨𝐵 𝐿𝐼𝐏𝐅𝐾. Into 𝐾𝐲. Gordon clears. Up comes Vongson. Over to Mark Sorensen on the right. Boldin clears not once but twice, and it goes from one side of the court all the way to the other, and the Danish keeper happy to let that roll out of play for a Denmark goal kick.
England definitely not having it all their own way. We saw this in their opener against Argentina as well. Don't know whether Denmark have watched any of that footage and taken some hints and tips maybe.
I think that 92% prediction in favour of England, almost unfair when you consider how well they've started the tournament. Yet to concede, which is a testament to their defensive work. Harrison trying to flick it back. Neither side really able to get their passing going, but Denmark do it brilliantly there, brilliant well there. Volker Petersen setting away Krolp on the left-hand wing. The danger still present all the way back to Albin Vongsen in the Danish half. Just under 11 minutes gone. Nothing to separate these sides as of yet. Boldin trying to force his country up the court. Marcus Harrison not able to get that pick off, and contact from Mark Sorensen. Play allowed to continue. Boldin just bullying his way past the Danish number 7. Met by Kasper Volker Petersen. Down to Common. Pick off into the centre of the court. No real direction or purpose on it, so Mark Sorensen has no difficulties in just guiding it out of danger and play respectively.
Yeah, it's been a cagey start, and maybe that's why Colin Gordon, the England head coach, has looked to his bench to bring young Dan McClellan on, it seems.
Boldin, an assured clearance from Mark Sorensen, and we're probably going to get that changed now. It's going to be Dan McClellan coming on, the scorer of 2 incredibly impressive goals against Argentina yesterday afternoon. So Ed Common, the player to leave the court, replaced by the young 14-year-old Dan McClellan. Confirmation of that should be on your screens now. Boldin trying to switch the play. Down to Harrison. It's better. They've struggled to introduce Chris Gordon to their attacking phases of play, but we're seeing it now. They're trying to obviously expand this court, utilising all 4 players in attack. Boldin met by Krolp. Just bypasses him, has options in support. Harrison to his left, he just guides it down to the number 9. Back to Boldin, back to Harrison. Across the box surely, which he does. Kasper Volker Petersen ricochets the ball off of Albin Vongsen's chair. England kicking. Brighter though.
I think what we've seen, John Boldin is here for the fight. He knows Denmark bring that physicality, and he's more than matched it so far.
Slight miscommunication between Boldin and Gordon. Fortunate not to be awarded a 2-on-1. Mark Sorensen doing brilliantly well to trouble the English defensive duo of Boldin and Gordon.
That ball and that danger all came because Marcus Harrison's ball was just between John Boldin and Chris Gordon. That is the danger. When you play 4 out, the ball comes down the middle, someone's going to put a name on it.
2-on-1 is awarded in favour of England. Quarter to 5 and 6 respectively in England and Denmark. Thank you to anyone that are tuning in from the other side of the world. Gordon trying to find McClellan on the return pass. Locked up by Marcus Harrison. Vongsen advances out of his box to try and clear the Danish lines, and a contact foul awarded in their favour. Just over 5 minutes to be played. It remains Denmark 0, England 0.
It's been very even as well.
No real clear-cut opportunities as of yet. Can they make a difference now? Peterson into Kroop. 2-on-1 awarded in favour of Denmark. The referee pointing to Boldin and McClellan. So another really good opportunity for Denmark. Indirect. Kasper Volker Peterson to take. Mark Sorensen, a nice option on the right-hand side. If he can pick him out, Boldin clears the first attempt, and a follow-up effort has to be cleared off the line by Chris Gordon. Arguably the best opportunity of the game thus far. The danger still present, as Marcus Harrison has to be aware of his placement. And now they've switched the play. Dan McClellan with possession on the right-hand wing, flicks it. No doubt intended for Marcus Harrison, but Albin Vongson brilliantly prevents that cross-field ball.
That is England and their power chair football in a nutshell.
You draw the opposition in, they're comfortable in their defensive half, even their defensive box, then they break the lines and commit numbers forward.
You saw there, they soaked up the pressure. Chris Gordon into Marcus Harrison, little 1-2 on the edge of the box, then the big switch, and Dan is in almost 2v1. Now they have the corner.
McClellan into Boldin. Crucial interception from Peterson, the Danish captain. Harrison to take. Gordon, they just switch responsibility, so the designated goalkeeper for England will take. Short, snappy exchange passes between Gordon and Harrison. He switches the play over to Dan McClellan. A very 50-50 altercation between Sorensen and McClellan, allowed to continue from David Weeb. And Mark Sorensen has possession on the left-hand wing. Boldin with options. Back to Gordon. Just controls it with the left-hand side of his chair. Draws Kroop in and then weaves to the left-hand side. Desperately trying to evade the pressure of the Danish number 11, who does brilliantly well. Gordon flicked to Dan McClellan. He's going to attempt an effort once again off the chair of Kroop. Corner ball for England, 2.5 minutes left to be played.
As you mentioned, we've not really seen that many, if any, real clear-cut opportunities. The action areas have been the middle, all the,
Pick off from Boldin, cleared by the defensive duo of Denmark. Now a chance to counter. Spearheaded by Kroop, now to Peterson. Boldin trying his best to prevent that, and Mark Sorensen unable to keep it in play.
Only 2 minutes left in this first half now.
I certainly think, with the expectation and the predictions that have come in prior to this game, Denmark will be the far happier of the two squads approaching the half-time break. Still danger in the final minute and a half. Rolls out of play for a Denmark ball.
Oh, absolutely. Denmark will 100% be the happier team if it stays like this at half-time. They've limited England to very few chances and have had opportunities of their own.
Nice switched ball from Gordon, sets Harrison away on this left-hand wing. It's far from easy though, that control and dribble from Harrison, a trademark to his game. His crossfield ball wasn't met with purpose by Dan McClellan, so Denmark in the final minute have possession just into the England half. Kroop to take. Volker Peterson in support, as is Mark Sorensen. McClellan. Been very impressed with Thorbjorn Kroop so far in this game. It's really frustrated England, both in attacking and defensive phases of play.
He's been everywhere.
He certainly has. So Kasper Volker Peterson to take. Into Kroop, has to be cleared off the line by Boldin, but no real purpose or danger considering the pace of the ball. We've had the regulation 20, so now into any additional time that our referee has accrued across this first half. Boldin with a very late chance, picking out Dan McClellan, who possesses the ball on the right-hand wing, has to readjust accordingly due to the oncoming pressure of Kroop. Boldin not able to guide it over to Harrison. Half-time, Denmark 0, England 0. Thank you to all that are joining myself and Greg. We hope you can join us shortly for the second half. Hello everyone and welcome back to the second half in this fixture between Denmark and England at the 2023 FIPFA Powerchair Football World Cup. This is the round robin stage, which means every team present will play every other team present at least once. A unique and aspect to this World Cup which has never been trialled or tested before, but we know how much the players value that opportunity to test themselves against every team.
I think we're seeing it already pay dividends, because so many of the games have been end-to-end and exciting and close. I mean, the Japan-Uruguay game beforehand was 0-0 at half-time, was 0-0 for 35 minutes, and exploded into life right at the end.
What, did it finish 2-2?
Yeah, it did.
Absolutely incredible. The level of competition has been truly exceptional. We can't wait to get into the second half here. Denmark 0, England 0. Let's see if either of these teams can influence that result in their favour.
I think what you'd want to see is less free kicks, more fluid passing. But sorry, as I'm saying, it's up to England to get around Denmark and their play to frustrate England.
So both teams unchanged from that finished the first half. Kasper Volker Petersen, the Danish captain, with possession of the ball. Down to Thorbjørn Kropp, who was one of the standout performers in that first half. We saw England start to find their rhythm. The more Denmark grew into the game, the more England found spaces in between the lines.
And that's the trade-off, really, isn't it?
It is. It's risk versus reward.
If Denmark want to sit back and frustrate England, then they've got to accept that they might not have as many chances going for themselves. If they want to come forward and start trying to create opportunities for themselves, they're going to have to say, okay, well, the risk is that England and their quality of players are always going to have opportunities, and more of them, against us at the other end.
So Thorbjørn Kropp to take this kick in. The Danish support has been absolutely incredible, adorning the bleacher seating with red and white everywhere you can see. Likewise with England to our right. Kasper Volker Petersen into the path of Mark Sorensen, who's trying to squeeze it between Bolden and Gordon. Isn't able to do so at the first time of asking. Bolden trying to relieve pressure. It goes towards Gordon, just drawing Dan McClellan forward. These are the overloads that they kind of invite to try and break the lines and counter. Doesn't work on that occasion. Harrison switching it down to Dan McClellan, but Thorbjørn Kropp brilliantly intercepts. McClellan takes possession, just feints one way, draws Mark Sorensen in. He still has possession on this right-hand wing. Just adjusts, passes it back to his goalkeeper, Chris Gordon. Flicked off the back of an England chair. But the referee deems that to go in the favour of England.
Just quickly there, that passage of play beforehand all started from 1-2 from Dan McClellan and Chris Gordon, and Marcus anticipating when the ball from Chris Gordon was going to go, and he broke the lines. It's classic England powerchair football.
A chance for Mark Sorensen there, couldn't quite make the contact, and Dan McClellan picks out Marcus Harrison on the left-hand side. Brilliant, well-worked opportunity. Full credit to Dan McClellan, who threaded a splitting path through the Danish defence.
Oh, I know Marcus scored, but that goal belongs to Dan McClellan. What a ball that was sumptuous. Just cut across it in front of Petersen, and it just allowed Marcus Harrison to tap in a simple finish at the far post. He's 14, can I remind everyone? That is just brilliant.
So Denmark looking to reply immediately through Thorbjørn Kropp. Volker Petersen, the most presentable option, which the number 11 winger opts to choose. Gordon well positioned to prevent that opportunity. Denmark 0, England 1.
And this is what we spoke about now. Denmark have conceded. They're going to have to start throwing a couple more risky plays in. That may open up more opportunities for England.
𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐿 𝐾𝐫 down to Peterson, cleared well by Dan McClellan. Be interested to see if England look to change this. I saw how influential Dave Lewis was when he was introduced to that Ireland victory earlier today. Quality in depth.
One thing I would like to point out is England took the lead against Argentina, and the next 10 minutes Argentina took the game and dominated. Will we see the same here?
Gordon down to Marcus Harrison on the left-hand wing. Back to Gordon. Back to Marcus Harrison. They've done it. Brilliant pick off Dan McClellan, but doesn't get contact. John Balding will be the goal scorer. Absolutely brilliant. Started with them short, snappy exchange passes between Marcus Harrison and Chris Gordon, and then they found the England captain in space on the edge and threaded the ball through the Danish defence once again. Denmark 0, England 2.
Again, it's another goal that owes a lot to the assist. That ball from Marcus Harrison. And the finish from John Balding, just to slice across it and place it in the far corner. This is what we've been wanting to see from England.
This is the trademark England, which is why they're European champion. Just seeing that quality of distribution, which just finds the pockets of space around the court. John Balding was in the centre of the court when he scored that goal, at an area which is typically very overloaded.
This is what we were saying. A game that seemingly in the first half had no opportunities.
Balding trying to pass to Dan McClellan. Chris Gordon lets that roll out of play for an England kick-in.
Just saying there, a game that has had very little opportunities in the first half can explode into life out of nowhere.
John Balding, just a cushioned pass down to Marcus Harrison, who lets it go into the side of 𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐿 𝐾𝐫's chair. Two goals in 4 minutes to open a second half. Colin Gordon and Adam Crowell will be absolutely delighted. No doubt their team talk at half-time. Influential as Dan McClellan just positions his chair to let that ricochet off him in the direction of Marcus Harrison. Much, much better from the English side.
If I'm Danish now, you've just got to soak up the pressure. You know, see if you can get to 30 minutes at 2-0, because a third here and it really is, I think, game over.
Gordon with possession in the centre, battling away with 𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐿 𝐾𝐫. Gordon unaware of Mark Sorensen's placement behind him. Balding brilliantly prevents an almost certain Danish goal. Danger still there. Balding very much aware of Sorensen's placement. Harrison coming to support the defensive duties. Albin Vongson just happy to let that roll out of play. Volker Peterson down to 𝐾𝐫.
I think now if you're England, obviously you play a risky way as Marcus Harrison brings his ball forward.
Bullies his way from one side of the court to the other. Brilliant work from the England number 9. It just evades the pressure of Vongson. Eventually out for a goal kick.
Obviously, yeah, England, as I was saying, England, they play a risky, attractive style of football. Obviously, they'll have one eye on the clock and that 2-0 win. They'll not make any mistakes to let Denmark back into this one. Because you feel if Denmark are going to get into this one at the minute, it's going to come from an English mistake.
Peterson down to 𝐾𝐫. Harrison with possession now. He'll do well to find any of his supporting teammates. Gordon, probably the most presentable option. Patient stuff from Marcus Harrison. Back to Gordon, back to Harrison. Just controls it and locks it up in that top left-hand corner. Pick off from Gordon, intended for Dan McClellan. Now trying to weave through the Danish defence. McClellan, pick off back to Boldin. From one side of the court to the other with real purpose. Presents 𝐏𝐸 with possession. Peterson down to 𝐏𝐸, out for an England goal kick.
And you just see, it was almost like Bolding and Peterson were playing a game of tennis there. 180 into another. As now John Bolding, you see again, well blocked by Peterson. And Chris Gordon will just let that roll out for an England kick in. As we enter the final 10 minutes.
That we do. So Dan McClellan with responsibility of this kick-in into Boldin. Good work from 𝐁orbjørn 𝐁oṛ. Off the back of Harrison's chair, Sorensen waiting on the right-hand wing. Will we see either of these teams switch it up in the final 10?
I'm not 100% certain, but I don't think Denmark have made a substitution this entire tournament yet.
Off the back of Dan McClellan's chair. Vognsen, the Danish number 17, also adorning that orange goalkeeper jersey. Now trying to create something in attack. Sorensen across the box. Harrison has to sweep up possession and guide it down the court. Prevented brilliantly by Kasper Volker Petersen. Cries of patience from Colin Gordon to Gregor Nye's left. 2-on-1 in favour of England. Indirect free kick right on the edge of the Denmark box. Really good opportunity for them to register their third. John Boldin looks like he'll take responsibility of this indirect free kick. Just having a word with Chris Gordon. So Chris Gordon to take. John Boldin communicating a message through the ranks.
A pin come out the back of the chair.
Yep, our referee David Weeb just checking all of the chairs present as the pin that raises the rear wheels has come loose.
It is Marcus Harrison. I can see him just testing. He is, as he reverses, yeah, he's tipping himself. There we go. Almost like a bit of a rodeo for Marcus. I can assure you, it isn't as fun as it looks when your pin drops out the back of your wheels. We'll now have that England indirect free kick. Another opportunity to maybe finally put the game to bed for England.
Yeah, Chris Gordon to take. Dan McClellan and John Boldin, rather interestingly, occupy a very small radius of the pitch. Over to Boldin, cleared brilliantly by Volker Petersen. Harrison now dribbling the ball to the left-hand side. Dan McClellan now occupying the most defensive role of these four English players. 𝐏oṛ with possession. Constantly pressured.
Good rotation between Dan McClellan and John Bolding there. But here it comes for Sorensen. Fakes a shot and then like to go. Well saved by Chris Gordon. Vognersen. Out to 𝐏oṛ. Back to Vognersen. Gordon into Marcus Harrison. Now he can drive away. Denmark realise there's only 6 minutes left and they are 2-0 down. They've got to go for it, but here goes Marcus Harrison.
Yeah, good work from 𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐵. All the way down to the right-hand side. No one occupying that area. Out for a goal kick.
And you mentioned, will we see either side mix it up? We are going to see a substitution for England. Off coming number 10, Dan McClellan. Got that incredible assist for England's opening goal. And on comes his Aspire teammate. It's one Aspire winger for another, number 19, Brad Bates, who will have the last 5 minutes.
Let's get confirmation of that substitute on your screens now. Brad Bates on. Dan McClellan off, not before. Potential opportunity for Denmark. Final 5 minutes, Denmark 0, England 2. Kasper Volker-Petersen to take this kick in. Mark Sorensen in the centre, goes back to 𝐷𝐸𝐿𝐵. Off the front of Brad Bates' chair, puts pressure on the Danish defence, but happy to let that roll out of play.
You have to say, in general, it has been a very close and tight game.
They'll be disappointed because they were so brilliant in preventing England creating the opportunities in the first. 2 early goals to start this half, almost taking the wind out the sails of Denmark. But since that, England haven't created too many credible goal-scoring opportunities.
As you say, it was the first 5 minutes after the second half. England flew out the traps, and it was 2 moments of real quality, one from Dan McClellan, one from Marcus Harrison, that's led to the 2-0 scoreline we have at the minute.
Harrison can't quite control that ball.
And you mentioned, will we see Dave Lewis, Ryan? And we are.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant in that earlier win, both in terms of his distribution and in front of goal, scoring one of the 4 against the Republic of Ireland. So it's going to be Marcus Harrison leaving the court. You should have confirmation of that substitute on your screens now as Dave comes on to score. To play the final 3 minutes.
If Dave scores now, anyone will think it was fixed. Goal kick for Denmark. Bognersen hurrying up because they know they have not got long left at all if they're going to try and get anything out of this game. So although it was tight, never really felt that Chris Gordon in the net was threatened.
Very congested there. Many players occupying that area of the court. Contact off the ball between Mark Sorensen and John Bolden. Vognersen to take. Kasper Volker-Petersen into Bates. All the way back to John Bolden. The Danish coaches to our right, appealing for a 2-on-1. Good distribution from Dave, a trademark of his game earlier today. Just produces that something different than that of Marcus Harrison or Dan McClellan. Said it on the game earlier, so promising and encouraging for Colin Gordon and Adam Crowd to have that variety of options on the bench. I think you mentioned it, Greg. Denmark yet to utilise a substitute, definitely within this game. Haven't been able to catch their previous 2 wins over Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. But they're not open to switching it round too often. But they'll certainly take positives from this game. Thorbjørn Kropp, probably the standout for me, but Volker Petersen, Sorensen and Vagnussen all contributing significantly to a very sturdy defence as Petersen tries to mount a late attack for the Danish side. Bates just controls it with the right-hand side of his chair, feints to the left. England ready and surely to be their last change of the game. Tyler Reeve waiting in the wings to come on as the designated goalkeeper. It will be Chris Gordon coming off. So confirmation of that very late substitution on your screens now as Kasper Volker Petersen comes over to take this kick in off the front of Kropp's chair. Contact between Boldin and Sorensen. A yellow card awarded to the England captain, John Boldin. So a direct free kick as we enter additional time.
I think that'll be the one dampener on this game for England, maybe?
Arguably, but thankfully, next up for England is France. So unless Boldin gets another yellow card in the time that the referee has added on, he will be present in that Clash of the Titans fixture tomorrow morning. Sorensen. Trapped by John Boldin. Referee David Weeb looks at his watch. Surely not much longer to go. We did have that stoppage in play for the pin that came loose from Marcus Harrison's chair, so maybe we'll play up to the 40, maybe the 30-second mark of the 41st minute. Kropp into Petersen across the box. Tyler Reeve with his first involvement to clear it out of danger, and the referee blows his whistle for full time. Denmark 0, England 2. Thank you to all that have joined us. We know how early it is in the morning over in Europe. Next up, on Court B, Ireland take on Japan. As the players just shake hands with one another, as do the coaches and officials. A brilliant win for England, who make it 3 from 3. Looking over at the other court, an emphatic 6-0 win for France over Argentina places them firmly at the top of the round robin standings. But thank you to all that have joined myself and Greg for this fixture. We hope you can tune in for other games across the day.